Hello and welcome to Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures. Sit back, relax and enjoy today's show. Well, here I am outside on what is becoming a nice day actually. It's been a bit drizzly this morning, but we're okay. First of all, slight apology. On the last show I said it was going to snow this week, and well, I didn't get that from proper weather reports, even off the BBC by the way, but it never happened, it never materialised. Sometimes I look 3 or 4 days in advance, but today I've looked on the day, and it's going to rain here in Yorkshire anyway, possibly a little bit tomorrow, and then next week's going to be really, really lovely weather. So, well, enjoy, how fabulous. Now, great to be on the allotment, and it's nice to have a bit of fresh air. The birds are singing as always, and the little bees are buzzing, which is even better for me because I want my pollinators out here. I've been busy this morning. I finally, and I know you're going to cheer at this, hooray you say, you'll stop going on about it, finally decided to plant out my cauliflowers, and they're just over here, about 18 inches apart. And what I've done is I've dug really deep holes, so deeper than the pots that they were in, and put some compost in the bottom and watered that really well. And I've planted the collies right up as far as I think I can go to where some of the top shoots are sprouting off, in order to establish really firm rooting system, and then they've been really well bedded in. They like to be really tight in the soil, no movement. So I'm hoping up here it's quite sheltered. I hope we don't get much wind. They can be protected a little bit more if I need to, and I can stake every single one of them. I've got 6 at this side now, and well, they're in there, they're well watered, got compost in the bottom to hopefully pull the roots down, and they've had a really good root system actually in the pots. And as we say on the show, here's a photo to prove it, and they're looking really, really good, nice and clean and white. That's what I like, good root system. So that'll give them a really good chance now they're in here, covered with new compost and watered really well. But I'm not going to water them now for a few days. I'm going to let them try and find the water that's below them, and we'll just let them go. In here I have the onion sets I bought for £1, or some of them, and all I did was I put some really moist compost, in fact watered it really well at the bottom, and then just popped the onion sets on top and then filled it just with loose compost, just to support them so that they're upright. And this has encouraged them to go down again, searching for the water to make their roots a lot stronger and better than they were before, because some of them obviously didn't have any roots at all. They're just little bulbs to start with. Now they've all started to sprout, which is fantastic. The reason I'm talking about them, by the way, is I'm going to plant them alongside my cauliflowers in here. So I'm going to a lot of different plants with plants this year, because you can do that. The collies won't be ready till October, November, possibly even December, depending on how the weather goes and how good of plants they are, really. These will grow the same length and time, but obviously they don't take up much space. They don't really need much light. Even if when the leaves get bigger, by then these will be a lot bigger. In fact, here's a photograph of the roots, and aren't they incredible? That's after 3 days, that's all it is. They've only been in 3 days in here, and they're going to be put in amongst the cauliflowers. Another plant I'm into planting are my beetroots, because these will be really ready so quickly compared to everything else that's going in that bay, and so they're looking really healthy as well. Beautiful colours on these, and of course you can just eat the leaves as well. You know, you don't need to turn these into beetroots, let them grow on. They can just be added to salad if you want to, and you often see that, don't you, in the supermarkets or in the shops. So it's great in here. Well, here I have my tomato plants in my hand. Now, some of you may be planting out your tomatoes already, and these are getting very close to doing such a thing. In fact, funny enough, looking at the bottom end of these tomato plants, and I'll take a photograph for you, you can see little hairs coming out. Now they, when they're planted in, because these are going to be planted right up to, well, maybe a half, they will turn into roots. Now, when you're planting out your I can't think of what plant it is. When you're planting out your tomatoes here, water the ground really, really well. Dig a hole, obviously, enough to sink it into, because you want to bury it up so it creates roots. Water it in, dig a hole, water it in, put some compost in the bottom so it draws, and then let the water soak in. pop your tomato plants in and obviously cover up with soil, and as high as you can up the stems. That really will help and firm it down. Do not water the tomato plant again for at least 7 days, because you've got enough water in the soil. Now what this does, and I'm sure all you keen gardeners out there, even if you're growing these in tubs and buckets and all those sorts of things and grow bags, you can do exactly the same thing. You don't water them because what you want to do, you want to encourage the roots of the tomato plant to go downwards, because the further down they go, the more tomatoes you'll get and stronger plants, because they'll put their roots out looking for the water. And if you water them on the surface within the first 7 to 10 days, it'll again encourage the surface roots to grow, and that's what you don't want. You want them to go deep down in, and also it serves, if there's a drought, they will find the water. You've encouraged them to think, oh, I must go downhill with my roots to find the water, and you'll hopefully get stronger plants and more tomatoes from your tomato plants. They're really enjoying the sunshine here. It's quite warm on my back, I can tell you that much. Interesting about the tomatoes, isn't it? And they're coming on really well. I hope you are planting on, and I hope things are being successful for you. As I said, the weather next week, according to today's forecast anyway, it's going to be really hot again. I'm sat here because I'm just looking at my bumblebees. You know, I talked about them, and maybe there's a nest sitting nearby. Well, there is, in line with this leak, actually, just about there. In the banking, there's a little hole, and they keep going in and out. I say in and out, they've gone in, and they've not yet come out, but I'm sure they will. And if I can get some footage of them going in and out of there, I will, because I love my little bumblebees. Once again, thanks ever so much for watching. If you really enjoy the shows, please press the subscribe button. We're slowly going up, but we're great to have some more viewers. If you do press the subscribe, press the little bell as well, which means every time I post a new video on here, you will get a notification that it's there ready to watch. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time here on Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures. Ta-ra for now.